It's only 4 in the morning, but I've got all the lights on. So, um, just like I just wanted to start, and I don't even know. It's like everything I'll see, it just gives me this like, I don't know. It's like everything just starts filling up. Like I gotta just talk about this. I gotta talk about this, and I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna say about it. One thing is, so all the stuff that I was seeing, the Hawaii thing just gets worse and worse and worse. I swear to God, I. You think it can get worse, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like, oh my God, when you hear like the history, oh my God, it's disgusting. This is so outrageous. This is so much about, like, when I was younger, there was always this Holocaust thing. Though it'd be like, would it never happened if I was there? I would have never allowed that. Oh my God, but we've allowed genocide of indigenous people right in fucking in front of us. And there's goddamn people vacationing. It just is mind-blowing. It's sickening. And it is exposing so much. Like, it's a big exposing situation, that's for sure. And then fucking Rock and Oprah going out, and it makes it so fucking obvious. Like, where in the hell are the people? God, you fucking people. And the whole thing about their treaties and the land, and if they kill them all, they can just take the land. Oh my God, it's so fucking sick. And now they're telling the people who are left, oh, they can't live on Hawaii anymore. They're going to move them to the mainland. Yeah, they've got to live in. It's our fucking, all government, not just ours. They just spread. All they do is spread. You know, they're in the Crown in some, they're in the White House in some, they're in fucking somewhere on top of some hill, having blood sent to them. So fucking sick. And, you know, and now we just all bend over. Okay. And the more you see with our hidden history, and the more you see with the flat earth, the more you see with the territories that they won't allow us to go. I just saw footage of this guy, and so he went on an expedition, but he wasn't a part of it. It was something, I don't know. I think they needed a driver or something. And then they told him he had to sign an NDE. He had some really old phone, so he got some weird footage. What's so motherfucking weird about it, to me, when you see it, is because he tells the story too. So when he was there, you know, and they were talking about the dome and stuff, and they were like, well, you'll see. And they said that they've got these things holding it up. They need to hold the dome up. So they've put structures around the world to hold the dome up for us. Maybe that's their obelisk. I don't fucking know. This is so weird. The one that they're saying, though, is so fucking out of the Truman Show. But he said that you could totally tell when you're up next to it. You can see, you know, it's like this plastic glass looking thing over us that is reflective. And so in his footage, you know, at the end of the Truman Show, when he goes up those stairs, like he hits into the dome, and he's just like, what? And so then he gets out and he starts walking, and he comes to those stairs, and he goes up those stairs, and he goes to the door, and then he stands there, and then the voice of God comes to speak to him, and he makes the choice to choose himself, and he goes out the door. Well, in this footage, it looks exactly like that, only there's two. So it looks like two stairs coming up from either way, like this. And then it looks like a door right here. And so that, he got footage of that in '02 on an old phone. And then somebody else got this footage because there's a river. He said there's like you're up around all this ice, but then he said there's this river, and they tell you don't touch it. It's full of radiation. It's probably fucking the goddamn youth water or whatever. It's probably some kind of fucking fountain of youth. And so on the other side of it, he said, was this this bridge, this thing, this structure. And so the other guy got it in 13 at the same place, like across from the river. It's exact same structure. So, but you know, all the things, like people can elaborately make up all the things. You got to go in and look at things and decide for yourself and put all your facts together where you feel comfortable. Like and I just saw this one woman, and she had this kid's toy, and it was one of those little merry-go-round toys. And so she was trying to explain how the flat earth works. And so she was showing the top of the toy, the top of the merry-go-round toy. She said, okay, so we're in this little part right here. We're in this little dome thing. And all the rest of this is this earth. So she was saying like all the different land masses, like we're all on this giant, giant earth in all these land masses that are outside of the dome. But there's a lot under domes. I see it more as a multiplex theater. I think we're trying to put things together in a 3D perspective rather than look at it from a more, I just say look at it for more of a magical, supernatural perspective, you know, because things don't go together like we keep trying to make them go together. But so all these land masses, there's other ones out there with domes. And so it's like containment. And it has something to do with vibration is what I think. I think that we're contained because of the vibration interferes. So it is, so we're like in this containment, but the containment breaks when the vibration raises. That's what it seems like to me. So anyways, we'll see how this goes. But so she was saying, you know, and they tell us that's all there is, this little tiny circle part at the top of this little merry-go-round. But she said what's hidden is everything down underneath. So everything is down underneath. And then plus it goes out so much further. So that is, you know, that's the thing, is there's a whole inner earth. There's all these dimensions and all these other worlds. There's all sorts of different ways to live and exist. But we have to learn the respect for life itself. We have to learn to respect, there's a certain respect towards life to be able to be in that higher vibration, not be contained, this contained, you know. It could be nice for, you know, as we raise our vibration, if we could just mosey on out of this fucking containment. But, you know, it all has to do with the story. Like we're in a storyline and everything is leading up to something. Like we need all these parts of the story. I mean, we can't just have a story be here and then we tell the story and it's way over here. No, there's all this stuff that goes in between. And that's what we're going through, is the story of what leads us to where we get to. And it's traumatic as fuck, man. Like in Vegas yesterday, fucking crazy floods. There was one guy who just went to go pick up food, which I don't understand, all these people going out in these major storms in their cars. Like I look at it and I just think, is something wrong with these people's minds? Like, where do they come up with the cars can drive through water like this? It's no wonder that every goddamn time we see a million cars just sitting there stopped working. It's like, do people not get you can't drive your car through water? It doesn't work that way. They just go out and drive like, well, this is normal. It's like, God damn. I swear to God, if they do lock shit down, like the threat right now is that they're going to lock us down, and there's only going to be people allowed out are the cops, the government, of course, the cops and the government, and medical, and that's it. Not groceries, not food, not DoorDash, none of that. And so that all those people, you know, who don't know how to cook, who don't know how to, you know, all of a sudden there's not going to be any way to eat. They're not going to have any way to eat, to get food. And how many of them don't even have food in their houses? And how abrupt is this all going to go? I don't know. One thing, though, that I think that we need to consider is that China is a part of BRICS. Like, when you understand about BRICS, when you understand about Nasara Gasara, the whole thing to sign on, like this whole big show that they're doing about these different countries signing on, it's a peace treaty. So it's a peace treaty that you have to comply in order to be a participant in this gold, the whole world going in together and just going back to freedom and equality. And so all of the people who sign on, so China has signed on. And so, let's think about that for a minute. If China has signed on for a peace treaty, how in the hell are they going to come in here and attack us? They would lose everything that they got. They have to go, it's got to be peace. And so the UN is separate. The UN is separate. And UN is busy on their shenanigans in fucking Hawaii. Anywhere that they can go, I'm sure that they're around here. I'm sure they're everywhere around in our 100-mile radius that they have been given. And I guess Joe signed executive orders and gave us to China now that we can't pay our debt or something. So he's just going to give them America. All this stuff is just, it's so ridiculous and absurd. It's like, did they see that in the looking glass? Joe was always going to do that, or whoever. And then did they get him to do it? I don't know. And I don't even know, if this is just some paranoia that people are talking about. But supposedly he's signed an executive order that he's going to give us to China. But keep in mind this, China with the peace treaty, and they've got their gold. They're already on the BRICS nation. And then yesterday, too, their footage of their storms, they were in some sort of a monsoon or typhoon. I don't know. It was, oh my God, it's outrageous. And their wind and water and stuff, like they're getting their asses whooped too. And in BC, motherfucking, they're doing the same shit in BC as they're doing in Hawaii. And they've got a bunch of people trapped. They won't let them go. They're completely controlling movement. Oh my gosh, they're doing all sorts of bullshit there too. Like, oh my gosh, it's so sickening what they keep fucking doing. And I saw footage of fucking Vancouver yesterday. Oh my gosh, Vancouver, Canada. And I've been there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Like the kind of place you go to visit, and it's like, oh my God, this is like, is really, really cool. It's beautiful. It's just, it's beautiful. And oh my God, the parts where this video, it looked like downtown Philly. This whole, oh my God, just all these people. Oh my God, it looked bad. And that's Canada. That was so bad. It's so bad in Canada. And, they're not even telling us. And every time I hear people speaking out, it's just outrageous. The shit they're doing there. It's bad. All of the, Australia, those of us who are really kind of still stuck under their control. Australia, America, England, and I don't even know what all other ones. So they are, but when they sign on, see that they can't, there can be no acts of war. But I keep seeing all these people, like we've got all these Chinese guys crossing the border, all these, where people keep thinking that there's all these Chinese soldiers that are crossing over to come and get us. I would say it would be UN soldiers if they're going to go after us or anything. And the Chinese ones, they can't. They would be on the side of keeping their money, keeping their gold. So why would they come in and just kill us all? Because then they would lose their stuff. It would go all backwards, back out of peace. It would go back into wars over land. And it's been so much nonsense with their wars over land. And just like what I said, there was already people in America, and they just came and fucking took it. And then called it America. And just slaughtered the people. They do their same fucking shit. They just repeat. Their control, bring in a bunch of criminals, take away the food, go in and destroy their resources. It's just the same shit over and fucking over and over. I guess it works. So, but to me, if I don't think that we need to worry about the Chinese soldiers. It just doesn't make sense to me that they would be so interested in coming here, and it doesn't go with the storyline of going into the age of Aquarius. Like some shenanigans have got to go on. But I think I don't think it's going to be, I mean, there can be some places where there's going to be some battles, where there's going to be some fighting. I don't know. I think there already is some places where people are fighting, but they're fighting like criminals, but the criminals are like instigators. The criminals are like undercover. They're doing the work of the bad people. So, you know, all of those instigator criminal people that are out there to create chaos and crime, and you know, it's just that's all there on purpose. But I think those are not, you know, people who are signed onto the tree. If they we're going to give us a, this is like, this to me, it seems like it's the white hats and the like the white hats would be the BRICS nation, and the ones, those of us who are still controlled under their money thing. And then when you see like the history of that, and there's people who have gone through now to try and put the money thing together. And when you figure out the money and how much things cost and how much people make and how much things are and all that stuff, we're having way worse inflation than we did during the Depression. Like things are way worse than they were during the Depression. And so if you're doing good, it's like, fuck, you're doing better than most of the rest of the nation. It's people are doing really, really bad. And they're going to, you know, do the best they can to knock off more jobs. And everybody's got to go into this really dark place of loss. But that is what is going to get us into the place of receiving an abundance or something. Is like letting go of a mindset. And it's like the physical part that you're losing is to kind of the catalyst to get your mind to release what it needs to release. And this hold, this 3D hold on you, hold on your mind or something. But so the money thing, to me, is like the BRICS are trying to push us to get on to the gold standard. They're trying to help us, the people, but they got to go against these people who have control of us. And one of the things too is why, you know, I've said it's going to go back to the prices of the 60s. And so back before they did when we were on the gold standard, all of our coins were actually gold and silver. And so when we were trading a coin, it had actual value. So when we went up, like I've said, when we went up and bought a soda for a dime, the dime was actual silver and it had a weight to it. And so it was actually worth a different thing. To us, it was a dime because we were using a dime coin, but it is based on the weight of the coin. And so all those different coins had a value. And so we were using the coins, the actual gold and silver, to purchase. And so then that's why when they changed it over to paper, they could just inflate it. They could just keep making it go up and up and up. And then they've held gold and silver. I think gold has gone up a lot. But silver is the one that they use to base, so they repress the price of silver. That's why I'm always telling everybody, go buy silver. If you want to buy something, go buy silver. It'd be hard to, unless you have a lot of money, to buy gold. But silver is going to make a huge jump. It's going to go way up in its value. But when we go back onto this value of the coins that we trade, that it's also going to go, the prices are going to go back. And that is why we're going to be able to buy a house for like $6,000, is because we're going to actually use real things, not this paper. So it's about, like, it's all about the way that they inflated. But those are the prices we're going to go back to, because we're going to go back to real value. And so the prices of houses and stuff are going to go way back like that. That's why I keep saying things are going to get way better once this crashes. And the smart thing to do right now is to go buy silver so you're prepared for the crash. So you can go buy what you want. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be given away for free. But, you know, having your own money gives you more control. And so, and investing and stuff. And Trump has been saying that the whole time. He's been putting out comps to get us to go out and, get silver. And he's said things all along. So anyways, that's what I would say. And, I saw this video footage of this town. I think it's called Cody, Wyoming. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I see that. To me, when you see videos of these certain like towns and stuff, that's what I think we're going to go back to. All these like really cool like villages and towns and little townships, just little community villages and stuff like that we're going to be able to, that are going to pop up all over. They're going to be so fucking cool. I think the travel is going to be really cool to go around and see, and go into all these different experiences to, to experience these places. Now that Cody, Wyoming, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I feel certain Wyoming is in the map, the doomsday map. Like, it's still going to be there. And so, I don't know, that might be a really good place. I think that there's going to be, they're going to pop up a bunch of places. There's something, I don't remember what this was, because that time traveler keeps saying there's going to be this 9.5 earthquake that's about to go down. It's going to, I don't know when. I swear I thought it was 2023, but it might have been 2024. You'd have to go look this thing up. And he said it was going to be 9.5. It was going to be the San Andreas Fault. It was going to go for 45 minutes. It was going to destroy the West Coast. It was going to cause a big tsunami. It was going to come in. And it was going to destroy it. And then yesterday I heard this other thing, and I don't know what it was, how this prediction was. But then they were saying, it seemed like it was something, I have no idea what this prediction, where it came from. But they said that it was going to be like, man, it gave the exact date, 2025. I don't remember what the exact date was. I can look for the video again. But they said there was going to be a 9.5 earthquake at the San Andreas Fault, and that it was going, it didn't say anything about how long it was going to last. They said it was going to kill about 1 million people, and then it was going to make this big tsunami thing is going to happen, this big water thing from this horrible earthquake, and that was going to come in and wipe out the rest of people. So, but that's why I keep saying, I feel like that California is being like evacuated all the time. Like, they're trying to get people to evacuate. But I don't know, I guess, like, how do you just go in and just tell people, California is going to be gone? Like, you keep putting out the information, you put out the map, you put out all these storms, they get hit with storm after storm. You have all of this, what is that, legislature, whatever, all their bullshit stuff that they keep, to push them away from California, to push them to be like, what? I am not living like that. So all of these things to push people to think for themselves, to make decisions for themselves. But even, I mean, when I heard that one and it was like 2025, I was like, fuck, 1 million people. And that is what I think where is going to go down in California and New York. I think California and New York are both going to have devastating situations that are going to happen. I do think something is going to happen in New York with this water going over everything. And somebody was talking about that, and they were, I think it was some spiritual person or something, and they were talking about New York, and maybe they had one of those dreams. So many people have those dreams of New York going underwater, and it's real. When you hear the people explaining the dreams, it's really horrible. But one person was saying, yeah, New York is going to be underwater. New York will be gone. It is a shithole. It's going to be gone. It's so shitty. And then when you start thinking about, like how they do things, how they come in and take over land, like how much value New York had, especially in the beginning when they had that, the place to dock up, what is that, the shoreline, and how important the shoreline was for when all the travel was by ships. So New York had a great value. But then look at how they've jacked up the prices, and then going up. Oh, in Hong Kong, oh my God. Hong Kong is the fucking worst. Hong Kong seems like where they have been the template. Like it seems like that they have been, well, let's do it in Hong Kong and let's see how it works, and then we'll just go bigger. Oh my fucking God, I could not believe what I saw yesterday on the Hong Kong. So everything is these tall motherfucking buildings. It's like they have already been living in the line. That's where they've come up with this shit. And so they got all these tall ass fucking buildings. And this guy was showing the outrageousness of the rent. He's like, this is the most expensive. This is the most ridiculous place on how expensive it is. And so he went in and he was explaining how it's like these cubicle cage, like people literally rent cages. That people literally, their rooms that they're renting to live in are like the size of a closet. All there is like a bed. It's like a bunkhouse. And so, and all of the room, because he was showing them, he was in there showing how these people live. And they have to pay so much money to live like this. This is where they're taking us. This is why I keep on motherfucking saying, they want us in goddamn cubicles. They want us to be like so small. They just want our energy, our stress. They don't give a fuck about anything else. They just want to stress you out and keep that stress. That's the energy. And so they were literally like dog crates. Everything was like all these dog crates. And this is how people have to go work. I think over there, like I've heard horrible things about working conditions. Like people have to work like 12. I've heard where people have to work, where there's people who will just sleep at their office and they get like 1 hour sleep and they have to get back up and just work. Like they're all treated like slaves. And then they, to go and rest, you get to go sleep in your dog crate in a high rise. There's like limited resources. Everything is limited. And that is exactly what they want to do worldwide. And, these people comply. What was it I saw? Because these people, I think it was the Hong Kong one. And they all just, go and pile into these things. And it's like, why in the world? Like, what jobs? Like, why in the world isn't it have more value to be a poor farmer and live out in the country and just grow your own food and just live out there simple rather than live like that? Like, I don't understand the choice. What are you getting from this other thing? Is it just so programmed in your mind to think like, to live poor is below, like that's just the worst? Like I would never want to be poor, but you're poor and you're struggling and you're living in goddamn crates in a fucking high rise. It's great. And then where's the kitchens? Like they have one, where's the bathrooms? They have like one bathroom per hall. Everybody's got to share a goddamn bathroom. Everybody's got to share. And if you saw the size of these buildings, like just look up the shit about Hong Kong, I guess. But I don't know if you're going to, like, this guy was trying to show something. Like people who do videos trying to get you to come to places to visit. Like I'm sure maybe that's what most of these people's jobs are. Maybe it's just because I think Hong Kong and Tokyo are really huge on visitors. What is that called? Same thing that fucking in Hawaii, all these fucking people. But people going there on trips, so they make all this money, but then the people who are there caring for you are fucking slaves. But the people who have money, and go there and, have a bunch of slaves wait on them and stuff. I was like, what fucking Hawaii was like. I'm telling you, I thought Hawaii was so weird when I went there. I was so, and I have said it so many times. I told so many people. I've been in so many conversations with people about Hawaii. And, oh, I just love Hawaii. It's my favorite place to go. I was like, I thought it was weird. It's like so commercial. Like, it's weird. It was like, to me, it's so much like just being in Southern California. It's so different. You go to Mexico, Portugal, Spain, like you go in and you experience another culture. And Hawaii, it's not like that. It's very, it's like go to Bubba Gumps and go over there to Applebee's. It's just, even if they have some places, it's so commercial. Everything is so commercialized and so expensive. And you see, like, I mean, they price the people out who it's their land, and they price them out of their own fucking land and don't let them grow their own fucking shit. And I swear to God, Oprah, I mean, before the fire, there's all this shit coming out about what was done before the fires. It was like they fucking were sitting there planning this shit. They were motherfucking, I mean, and Oprah obviously knew. She hired firefighters to protect her land before it happened. And then, since she's hired private security to make sure to keep the people off the land. Well, who's trying to get on because you've killed them all? They're all dead. So what, you guys worried about their ghost getting on there? It's I seriously think that they went in and they massacred these people. I would think that they went in. It wouldn't surprise me if they did some sort of fucking fireworks show to amuse the visitors while they slaughtered the indigenous, the native people to the land. So, I mean, what a fucking, just disturbing. And where's all the stories? Where's all the information? There's so, it's so aggravating. But the same thing is going on in BC. It's going on all over the place. They are gone in hard on murder right now, like hard. And it's really spooky too, is the sickness. And they've got the next one coming out. My daughter's still so sick. And I'm not saying anything, because every time that I've said anything about those, the whole motherfucking time, I just got laughed at how silly and ridiculous I'm being. We've all been taking it forever. I just got a thing with a guy yesterday. And he said, this is on TikTok, and he came into my comments, and it's so weird how you can say things and people still come in and say the same shit. It's like, God damn, I get what people say, like, people are just robots. They don't think for themselves. But so, I said something about climate change. Like, it's so weird how it's easier for them to, it's easier for them to think that nature and the climate is attacking us than it is for them to think the government is. And so this guy, he comes in to tell me, climate change is real, but there's cycles, and but it is real because the government's not that smart. They don't know how to do. What are you kidding? Government's not that smart. And so, I was just like, the first thing I said was like, are you telling me you believe in climate change? And he's like, well, yeah, it's cycles. Well, I motherfucking know it's cycles. But I'm talking about what the government is saying. Like the difference in but this guy didn't believe in any of that stuff. He didn't believe in any technology or anything. Government's not that smart. No, they may be trying to market these storms that are naturally occurring because of the cycles. They may try and market them so they can tax us on it or something and call it something. But they're not adding to the storm. They're not doing anything to make the storms worse or anything. Government doesn't, they're not that smart. I was like, well, we're on very different wavelengths. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. And so then he comes back and he starts telling me, he has 4 of these things. I was going in and looking to see if this is a real person. It's a real person. And supposedly, I mean, he's got a lot of videos. And he said he's got 4 of those things. And that he's always had them. He's had them forever. That I don't even remember what he said. There's like not a problem, or people make it too big. And I was like, well, that went in a different direction. Like, when did we start talking about those things? I was like, what? But then the stuff he said, I was just like, well, we're just on very different wavelengths. You can stay here and listen to my stuff, but I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, you want to sit and listen, good on you. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you do get a little bit more insight into something and gives you a little something to think about. Because but I'm not going to sit and argue with you and try and convince you. And I'm sure the fuck not going to sit and listen to somebody try and convince me. So I have no intention to sit like, I'll do this. And whoever wants to listen can listen. I'll do my TikToks. Whoever wants to listen can listen. And the majority of people are always like, you're saying just what I'm thinking. That's just how I feel. I'm so glad you're saying this, and stuff like that. So it's like there's tons and tons of people. We're all on the same wavelength, but a lot of people, they just keep it on the down low. They don't want everybody to know how weird they are, how crazy they are. So it's kind of just like, and I get it. It is like, fuck, yeah, you're going to be attacked. You're going to have people tell you you're crazy. You're going to have people laugh at you when you start saying shit that is not on the narrative. I've been doing it my whole life. I've been laughed at my whole life. That's why it's just like, I would feel worse going against my inner knowing to please somebody. Like that, I can't do that. I have to be honest, even if somebody laughs at me. But luckily, like throughout the whole journey, I've had my little team behind me who's always on my side. So, but okay, there was some other things I wanted to say. Let me think of, because I really does, I can't, when people are all saying we're about to get invaded by China, like as the CCP and stuff, but, and I think that there was this split. There was a split between like the emperor and the CCP. Like there was some stuff that went on there. But I think their stuff got managed because they couldn't sign the treaty and then still have these bad guys that were going to be under it. So they've got to have their shit under control. So I don't know. I don't think that we need to sit there and fear that. And there's people who are sure. I mean, I see other content creators. We're about to be nuked. We're going to be nuked for sure. They're going to nuke in the water to cause tsunamis. They're going to, they're going to, and those things are going to happen. And I don't know if it's, if it's going to be disasters that just happen. Like there's so much damage that they've been doing to make everything unstable. But the instability is a natural occurrence. So they've just been speeding up. So that's always was going to go. The tectonic plates have always been unstable. That has been a threat forever in California. I mean, when I was living there in my 20s, and they were saying that, that that was something that you just knew in living in California. Well, the big one's going to come, and then all California's going to be gone. That was just kind of like just the general consensus when you live there. And and that's been 40 years, and they were sitting there saying it's going to go anytime. And so anyways, that's just a for sure thing. That's just kind of like like what I said, like the landscape is going to change just because it's the same thing as like we've been laying in bed for a long time, just laying in the same position. It's got to flip. And that footage too, that there's so much more of the footage of people showing the island, how it looks like a person laying there, but then how in Moana in the movie, how they show that. They show it as a giant a giant that lays down and becomes the island. And then the way the people are connected to the Great Spirit. I mean, I think that things are, and how many of these giants are laying down. I mean, how many of them were massacred or something changed in the earth climate? Like supposedly back when it was crystalline, because now we're carbon based. Before, when it was crystalline, everything was huge, huge, huge. And so the trees, that's where we have these giant trees, these giant people and stuff like that, supposedly. But then when it changed, like, was there something that happened that, where all of the things changed, like like the reset. The resets are always happening because it's always cycles. But they've done their own resets. That's the thing. They've done their own. They did something at the end of the 1800s. I feel certain of that. Just all the different footage and shit that I see when I see like this hidden history. And another thing too is when you see these old post offices that are the most extreme fucking buildings that are so elaborate, and they say that they were the post offices, that we need post offices. And keep in mind that there's hardly any people. There wasn't a lot of people. We have this fucking giant ass, I mean, go look up the pictures of some of these post offices. It's like, look, they're like the Smithsonian Institute. And so, and another thing that I think that people don't think about is the mailman wasn't just going out, going door to door every day. He wasn't just going out. I think there was even a point at some parts where you had to go and get your mail. You had to go to the post office and pick it up. And but we weren't getting all these mailers. Like, it was literally if somebody sent you something, then you had mail. It wasn't like every day you went out to your mailbox and you went and got all your mailers and all your junk. That wasn't a thing. And so to have these giant elaborate post offices when there wasn't that much postage, I mean, there would have been things being shipped, but there wasn't guys going out and delivering all that, like way back then when supposedly these buildings were being put up. So it's weird. It's definitely weird. Like, why would they need these huge elaborate buildings? And that judge is popping back up again, the one that has released us all from debt. And his name is, so you go www.mkchristopher.com. Go to his website. And he is a postmaster judge or something. And he's global. He's doing this globally, that we're released out of debt. And he explains it. And he's got a website. So anyways, you can go on that website and he gives you the information, or you feel, I don't know if it's like us leaving our citizenship to the corporation or something. I'm not sure. I was looking at his thing yesterday, but I didn't proceed yet because my thing would be doing it for the house. I'm not worried about the credit card thing, and I don't know how long this house thing is going to go on. I haven't heard anything from him. Last week, I haven't gotten any calls or anything that I've seen. I haven't gotten anything in the mail, I don't think. So who knows? Who knows if they're making moves? Who knows? He says if anybody is harassing you about money or bills, you can have them arrested. Well, you have to arrest them. Like, you have to do a citizen's arrest about them. Where do we take them? We take them down to the jailhouse and say, I've made a citizen's arrest on this person. They're harassing me over debt. And then that's against the law. They need to, like, there's some of the stuff like, when most of the people who are in charge, like the cops, they wouldn't be fucking going to work. They wouldn't be harassing us if they knew that they were going crimes against humanity. And I saw yesterday where somebody was saying there's about to be huge arrests in like FBI, cops, all those different things. And that was like, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how many women who thought their husbands had great jobs now they're going to find out. Like I said, I could see it. All these people who think Like they had good jobs, but they haven't seen, their person was going against human rights. Whether it was under orders or not, each person is going to be held responsible for their actions, because that is a soul sovereignty. You are held by your own actions. You create the imbalances that you have to put into balance. And so every soul has to take responsibility for itself through this time. And so, yeah, there's going to be people who, there's going to be fucking doctors, nurses, all sorts of people. I saw a nurse yesterday, and she was before, I don't know, it was before Congress or who it was, but she was saying all the stuff I was saying about the following the protocols, that people saying, well, we can't do that. The doctor, because she said in the very beginning, when people started getting sick, all the doctors in the hospitals were all given the Iver and the hydro, the words that we're not allowed to say, and that everybody was taking it. Everybody was getting better. And she said, and then all of a sudden they were all pulled, and they were all ordered to give the the other one that's bad, bad, bad. And so they all started giving that. And so the nurses started asking the doctors, what's going on? What happened to the other stuff? And the doctors were like, it's coming from the top. I don't know what's going on. But they all kept continuing to follow orders. And this girl, she left. She got in conflicts with administrators and stuff. I don't remember all the stuff that she said. So she left and she went to work for some doctors. And she said that those ones out of the hospital, they continued to use the Iver and the Hydra, the chlor, you know what I'm saying? And so they were using those. And she said they were having 100%. Everybody was getting better. Everybody was getting better. Nobody was going to the hospital. It was, and I just sent it to my daughter. I said, this is what you got. This is the other side. You don't just listen because they say, oh, that guy, he says it's all, oh, these two weirdos, they take horse medicine and all that shit. You don't listen to that. Fucking media just wants to get you to fucking die. They don't give a fuck about you. And that's what's so frustrating, when the people are listening their biases, and then you can't, it's your own kids, you can't get them to see their own biases. And I started that in 2020, when I very first started saying, the very first things that came out of my mouth, and it was tense. Like I knew when I started saying anything positive about Trump, I knew what the feedback was going to be. I knew that I was going to get that I had gone crazy. And so as soon as I said something, well, that's not true, because they were saying something. And I said, well, that's not true. That's not what he said. Oh, yes, it is. I watched. That's not what he said. They're lying. That is not what they said. Oh my God, you are so racist. I cannot even believe, it was like, what? It was bizarre world. And so I kept trying to get them to see, you are biased. These are biases. What are you getting? How do you not see this? Why do you? Oh my gosh, I swear to God, I spent a lot of 2020 trying to get them to see. And it just became we were very, they were just I had to stay home. I couldn't be around anybody. Oh, I might get sick and all this shit. And I was like, what the fuck? It's and they try and tell me even, or it was a Christmas or something, and then we finally got together or whatever, and then it was well, these people wearing these and telling me, well, I need to wear one. I'm just like, no, I'm not fucking wearing one of those. That's some fucking bullshit. And then I was a goddamn nurse, and y'all want to come and tell, I'm like, oh God, I was so aggravated, and nobody would listen to me and stuff. But I had to, I had to understand what was. I was supposed to be growing and learning from it. I was supposed to not be worrying about what they said. I had to stand in my own truth. Didn't matter if they all laughed at me, if they all thought I was crazy, if they all thought I was stupid, if they all tell me I'm racist and all this stupid shit. No matter how many times, well, how did a racist then raise you? Why aren't you a racist? And what in the hell? Nothing adds up. They just, whatever, just say whatever the narrative tells them to say. It's so frustrating. But then to be at this point and still be so stuck on that he's the bad guy. And there's so much, I'm so glad there's so many people putting out all of these good deeds he's done. And I saw somebody else saying, you know what? Where's all the Joe supporters? Like, you guys wanted us, you're attacking us all through Trump's, telling us that we have to defend him. Oh, he just did this, and everybody has to defend him. But where are all you motherfuckers? Because I'm ready to start hearing you defend Joe, because this is some bullshit. Nobody defends him. Nobody. But Trump, there's a lot of people who were defending him, trying to explain to people what was really going on. Fuck, I was even new to the story. And I was trying to, once I saw, then it was like I was trying to explain to people, you couldn't get through anybody's fucking exterior. Nobody, it was weird. And then when I was even trying, and how many times I got called, I'm Fox, you just watch Fox, you are Republican, conservative, all like I got told stuff about, like, I go to church, I read the Bible, like all sorts of stuff. And that is where I was like, okay, this is it's so programmed. Like, these people are just automatically, you go against what they think, they've already got the whole thing set up. Well, you're this, 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 and this. And it's like, okay, well, I'm none of those things. So where are we now? I'm not any of those things, but you think I am because of what I say. So how do you explain that then? I'm not any of those things. Oh my gosh. I mean, the arguments I got into with Ted Royal even, and it was to a point, where he had to have me removed from Nextdoor. I'm not even allowed on Nextdoor. I'm fucking banned off Twitter. I'm banned off Nextdoor. I don't even go on Facebook. Like, fuck Facebook. Like, after they had stolen my whole big old account that I had a long time ago, I'm like, why the fuck would I go and start over? And why do I want to go in and especially at the point where I'm wanting to speak my truth, and then I don't want my family's harassment. I don't go in. I'm happy to have cousins and everything come in to tell me that, I'm whacked out. And it's like, nah, I'm just gonna, that's why I went on YouTube before I even started with the YouTube, because I was on Twitter first, but, I got removed from that, banned from that from life. And well, of course, that'd be dramatic because I had the Secret Service come out, which I still just weirds me out. Like, I feel like there's so many people that say and do so much worse stuff. And then it's like, what's the Secret Service coming here to my house? And so, let me think what I was going to say. All of a sudden I got lost to what I was talking about. Well, no matter what, oh yeah, because when I got, because I had already started my YouTube when I got kicked off Twitter. I'd already started, but before I even started it, I had said to a few people, I think I'm going to start a YouTube, but I had done that a few years ago, where I was like, and then I tried to do some videos and I was just like, oh, I couldn't handle it. And then, but then when all this shit started going down, and then when I was in 2020, when I was going out listening, there was all these lives and stuff. I'm telling you, that was such fun to be able to go on all those lives. There was just so many people who were live all day long. You could go from one, and so many of them had the same people jumping from live to live. And so it was fun going in, and you hear what people were saying. It didn't feel alone. It didn't feel scary. It felt like, we were all, trying to figure it out together. It was like a group of us. And then when you could get on the ones where they would do the explaining the cue drops and all those comps and stuff, like I thought it was very interesting. But it was when I would hear the spiritual people talking where it was like, what? That is what really was getting me to be like, okay, I've got to go out there and say stuff. But also, it was them compelling me all the time, even to the point, like I said, they turned on my light. Like, yes, get up. It's time to go and do it. So I got up and I went and I started doing the first recording. And it was so awkward and so uncomfortable. And so then just started going and going and going, speaking my truth. And it has gotten, I feel like I've come more into myself. Like it was the opening of my throat chakra. I feel like it was the opening of my crown chakra too. And I feel like as you're going through the Kundalini opening thing, so because the bottom ones, that's where you hold your trauma. That's where all of your pain and suffering is down in there. That's why all these people have so many issues down in that area of their body. Reproductive issues, sexual dysfunction, uh, problems with evacuation, problems with all sorts of issues. But see, it's all this micro macro. Your issue is never what you think, but you have to start with that issue to go into it so that you can understand it. It's like you go into the issue and ask it, what are you trying to show me? What is it I'm supposed to see? And then make yourself available to what it is they're trying to show you. There's so much about getting in sync. It is like, to me, it is like, it's like, man, I don't know how to explain that. Okay. Like if I go back to the ship thing, like a spaceship up here, and all this different activity that is going on, and then like there's a lot to manage up there, and it is more of like when you get into the realization that you're sitting in this ship with all of this information around you, then you it's like you have more access. And the people who don't, they don't realize, it's like the ship is going crazy up in there and they're ignoring it. It's like they don't, like you got to go into it. You got to go into it so you can manage it. But it's like they're ignoring it. It's like they're caught up looking at a fire, ignoring the fire in their mind or something. So it's all of this evolution of, getting control, of noticing, of awareness, of being mindful. And so, just let me think what I was going to say, because it was something. Oh yeah. So when all of that stuff is trapped down there and you start releasing it, like you have different things that'll go on down, depending on whatever your dysfunction is, whatever, because you're holding that energy in there without you even knowing it. You're holding it, you're repressing your pain, you're holding it in there because you don't want to relive it, you don't want to feel it, you don't want to see it, you don't want to think about it, so you hold it. So energetically, you're going around all day long holding on to things. Oh. And then you can see like where you see some people who are just so worn out, so tense, like their face will show it. Their face will show the strain. And somebody, I just saw a video even saying, like, start paying attention to people's faces when you're out. I never go out, but they were saying, pay attention. Everybody just looks so tired. They just look so worn out. And I just has to do with like all these muscles in your face, and they hold and they show your stress and strain. And so that stuff is coming up. It will change, it will change things up here because you will become more relaxed. Like your shoulders may become more relaxed, your neck, whatever you're holding on to, all your tension, and then plus that makes people so snappy, so like trigger happy. You say something to them, they take it wrong, boy, they're out for blood. And it's that anger. And oh my gosh, there's a lot of anger around my neighborhood. I just feel you just hear, somebody yelling, and you just feel the tension. It's all building up. And the fucking, god damn, the planes. I swear to God, the firmament has got to be moving down. There is no motherfucking way. It has got to be like receding. Like the same thing with the water. It's got to be preparing for what is to come. because it is so fucking loud. And it's so weird how the planes were all going over here. Now they're all over here. Like, what? Or who? What? And then last night, again, the helicopter at the same fucking time. So the night before, right as it starts to get dark, helicopter comes out, starts going over our neighborhood. And last night again, right as it gets dark, comes out, starts going over our neighborhood. And not shining a light or anything. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Well, maybe they have the infrared lights and they're looking. I don't know. Are they looking for people? Are they just looking for pot shots? They're going to just laser people? Are they practicing? I don't fucking know. Like, if somebody was shot down and you went out in the street, you'd be like, oh, there's a heart attack for you. Just these heart attacks are just dropping in the streets. So, we wouldn't know. And it's strange, like, why all of a sudden, and everything is building up. And over here by me, and it's weird too, because for so fucking long, definitely since 2021, that they have been saying that all these Chinese soldiers are sitting there in Canada just waiting across the border. The whole thing was we had to have all these because they weren't going to come in and fight us until we had these, and that he's supposed to be taking away the weapons and stuff. I've heard weapon people say, explaining about the absurdity of the one that they keep saying that they've got to get rid of. And the weapon specialist was saying the reason that they're choosing that one and saying, because the other one that they're saying, I don't know, it's the AK-35 and AK-47 or something, and they keep saying, we got to get rid of these AK-35s. And he said the AK-47 is way worse, but you have to reload it more. And you have to put these cartridges in. And he said, but the 35, you can put a big cartridge in and you can take out a lot of people real quick. And he said that's why they want rid of that one, is because they want us to have to reload. They don't want us to be able to just be going wild. And then when you go back to the history stuff, that is what they have done. They take away, it was even in the Civil War, I heard somebody talking about where they are in like South Carolina or something, in something during the Civil War, and how they went in and took all of the bullets, the stuff to, the ammunition. They took the ammunition. So leave their weapons, but take the ammunition. That's what they're trying to do right now. Like, there's a huge, I had heard about that a couple of years ago too, where all this ammunition is, you can't get any ammunition for certain things. And so, it's all about this fight, but it is also just about the awakening, because I don't think we're going to go into that fight. We're not going to really be nuked, but we really will be microwaved and EMF'd and stuff. They really will laser us. That's all true. They've been watching that go down. They really will do that. They really will. I just, man, I mean, when I really put it together last night with the China thing, then all of a sudden I was like, I felt more peaceful about it. Like, yeah, we've got all these people saying there's a war, a treaty, or this act of war happening, and this Joe giving us over and all this shit. And the people who are all scared of that, and the things they say. But then I started thinking, yeah, but China has signed on. They are part of the BRICS nation. That has been Russia, China, Africa, well, South Africa, and Brazil, like all those places. They can't go in and create war. They can't go in and come in and invade us. They can't do any of that. They lose all their stuff. So, yeah, China's not going to lose all their gold to come over here and, try and take over America. It's all part of the show. It's all part of the thing. So just keep that in mind while all this is going down, and you keep hearing these people, oh, we're about to be invaded. China's coming in. They're going to kill. We're all going to be commies and all this shit. And same thing with Russia. There's a lot of people who are scared of Russia. Russia doesn't, none of these places, it's part of the show. They'd all just go about their business, but it's part of the show, because we got to get globally where everything is more stable. And right now it's very unstable, because we're all on these different forms of currency. So they're trying to go into a one world currency where it's just gold. We all just trade gold. Not this like, oh, they have yen, they have euros, they have dollars. No more of that. That's why it's going to be this quantum money. It's just going to be this quantum money. You're going to have actual gold or silver, and everybody's going to get a certain amount, or we're going to get a certain amount each year or something. There'll be something with reparations. And but your money will go into like a pot or something, like, and you will have your own, like, you're your own banker when all this goes down. And so your money, but we'll still use it off of cards and stuff. We won't go and carry around gold and silver all the time. Even if you wanted to buy a house from somebody, you're going to be buying a house from a person. And then I guess you and that person set it up. Like if they agree to payments and you make payments to them. Oh, maybe this shit's about to go down, maybe. It's 5:17. I see 17 a million times a day. It's weird. 117, 117, 117, 11:17. That was a fucking explosion. Bug. I don't know if that was... I mean, there wouldn't be Hunter out right now. Like sometimes a gun shooting in the forest. Sometimes when I hear something really weird, and I have to sit and listen and see, like, is shit about to go? This is how tense it is. Like every motherfucking thing. The helicopter, you're just like laying down, ready to relax, and here comes the helicopters. It's like, shit, is shit about to go down now? Like, what the fuck? Come on. This hanging on, like, every minute. Like, it's about to go? It's about to go? What's about to happen? It's like, son of a bitch, man. And the explosions, and then we got the goddamn construction people over there constantly exploding, and I swear to God, they have been put there to cover up some of this shit. Like, to just, everything is about keeping us all tense. And it's so important for us to try and keep our own tension down, because they want us to get this, you know, oh, just explode something, and everybody just like, you know, this adrenalizing us, you know, keeping our blood all in this panic state. And it's why it's so important for each person to mind the manner, to figure out what you need to calm yourself down. Like, you know, all throughout the day, you know, I got to do different things. Something happens, like an explosion, then it's just like, some of them I just ignore. That is an unusual one. At 5 a.m, to be a loud explosion like that. But, you know, I don't see it's not like something's really exploding, because it didn't shake the house, and it's not like I don't see flames shooting up. But fuck, who knows? They're out there with their fucking drones, fucking trying to start fires. Yesterday when I was out walking with Stella, and those people across the street, you know, have those 2 bush things that are, now they have some other ones dying, and the way it looks like something just shot across. Like, it doesn't make any sense when you have a tree and then it's just like this marking across all the trees of this color. It's like, that doesn't make sense unless something was shot on them. They're shooting shit on the trees, and they did it last year too. It's like, is that our get ready for winter? So I don't fucking know. But so yesterday when I was out walking, I looked back up on the hill to look and see how many dead trees, because last year it was like, fuck, everything was fucking dead. And then I was shocked when everything was coming back this year. But now there was definitely some dead trees up there, but they've already started with the rain. Like, it's already started raining, and it's cold here. So I don't know. To me, it's like the storm that they would have to hit us with, like the wind. Yesterday was really windy. And so to me, it's like ours is like wind or water. Like, but they were burning fucking Canada down, and there's no fucking way it had dried out. It was way too quick in the summer. Fuck. No way. So who knows? They could come in and just burn shit down. I mean, they put these accelerants. That's probably what's on the trees that turn them brown, is these accelerants. And then with their fucking night vision goggles, those things probably light up, and they can just aim and flame them. and get it going. So yeah, you can't put anything past them. Anything can happen. Even like we're going into fall, they can still come in and try and do a fire. It's all so dried out. God, it's so fucking annoying. It's so annoying because the way they just talk to us like we're so stupid. Like, well, what in the hell? We can't go to fucking Antarctica. Like, the limitations and shit that they try and put on us. And the way that we just comply, and just, do what we're told. It's like, fuck. I just can't believe how much we've been repressed and oppressed and suppressed, and how much we've been segregated. They purposely tried to keep people apart and keep them in arguing and stuff. Like all of that shit to just keep us all in separation so that we, continue to be obedient to these people. God, this is a good time to be alive, to get to see Oprah go down. Like, and it's really kind of sad because I feel like it's kind of like that 19-year-old girl thing. Probably because Oprah was, she was I think she was a poor black child and growing up in the inner city. And she suffered a lot of physical child abuse, sexual abuse and stuff. And so I'm sure she was already probably, taken. She was probably already being prepared. They were already destroying her to take over her mind, to put her in a position. And then, they would have all her be so relatable to all these people. Because look at how when she came in like fire, man. She had so many people just, she was a big thing there for a while. Huge. And everybody liked her because she just seemed so real, so regular. And what an act that was, man. But people who can act like that their brain has been fractured. Like and that's what they do to these people when they're young. They fracture their minds. And so, she's probably a product of this horrible crimes. But it's the same thing with like this, what is that one lady they're always calling it, their name Channing or something? I can't remember. It's weird how some of them, their names, when you say them slower, you say them a little different, that it's kind of like their title. But, she's a younger one. And I think she was doing the models, like go out and get young girls and tell them they could be models and pull them in. And then, they get trafficked and used and all of that stuff. And so, but she probably started out the same way. I think she's even from a wealthy family. So a lot of these people are victims. Like, even Anderson Cooper. It's so weird how, confirmation, Jesus Christ. It's so weird how some of these people, that they are, they're criminals to us, but they're victims in their own life. And then they could never get over it. Like, it's like they're following orders. And that is going to be a thing. All these different people following orders, doctors, police, all these people who just think, oh, they're regular citizens. We're all waiting on this Illuminati to go down. Oh, we're going to see some fucking citizens go down. People who followed orders, the fucking ones that held those people in, they wouldn't let them out of the fire. Like, what? That is so, that is fucking evil on a fucking another level. How can you sit and watch people? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then how many people are getting the footage, the aerial footage of the fire, the whole thing. It is, there was they were so targeted. It was so precise, like exactly precise, like that woman having a laser and going down. It's like they're just zap, 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 zap. You got a clean ass field, no fire or anything, and then right in the middle of it, 2 cars that are melted. Nothing else. There's all sorts of ones. There's houses completely fried, completely gone, but all their grass is completely green around them. Even having kids' toys, blue ones, of course, out in the yard, just out there just like everything's normal except the house is melted. Everything's normal except the car's melted. Like, what in the world fire it does that? It's ridiculous. And so, but it's kind of like the ridiculousness is where you have to start questioning things with your mind, because that is what starts getting you to wake up and to see the truth and to get to that place of peace. Because there's all these people who are panicking over China's about, I mean, he already told them that they could have us. They've got all these soldiers here, and now they're about to come in and just start shooting us. And which they are not, like I'd heard that all the way back too, is that they had to wear a helmet, and those helmets will detonate. Like they're prisoners, and they aren't just soldiers, they're prisoners, and they can have their heads blown off if they don't do what they're told. So, and I don't know, to me, to be on the BRICS nation, you can't have your soldiers out there with helmets that are going to blow their heads off. So to me, there's a lot of changes in China that we aren't being informed about. And so I like I said, the only soldiers that would be coming in here would be UN ones, and a lot of those are, you know, terrorists and shit like that. They are like CIA or whatever. So those, I don't know. I just think we'll see how this stuff plays out. But yeah, I think it doesn't make any sense. China's going to attack us and risk losing their gold. No. All you got to do is look up about Nasara Gassara, look up about that, and look up about the treaty and stuff in order to get the gold. Like, your country doesn't get it until you sign on. That's why we're all being pushed like this. Like, we're on this ride so that we get to the point where it's like, fucking sign us up. We want off this dollar. Fuck this. And it's to see for ourselves so that they don't have to fight us. That we have to see for ourselves. So see what we want. We have to have the desire for freedom. You know, as so many people are so trapped into, you know, thinking like, fuck. I just couldn't even believe that in Hong Kong. Like, you go live in a goddamn fucking dog cage instead of going, I mean, it was all these cages. They're just long enough for, and those people are shorter. Like, their twin beds, I bet, aren't as big as our twin beds. It was like that size of bed, but it didn't look as big. And so that is like their whole room. It's like a dog crate with a little bed in it. And that's their, and then some stuff piled up. Like, fuck, what a way to live. So you can have a job, so you can be in a city, like the lure. And how much people will just keep giving up and giving up. And everybody will just keep fighting for one or two jobs. It's like, come on, people. Why can't you see other ways of living? Why has got your mind so trapped that you think this is the only way? There's so much more. There's other ways to live. Like, anyways, everybody's got to see it for themselves. But I don't think that we need to worry about China. But we definitely, we're under attack, for sure. So there is worry. Like, we don't know how far this is going to go. Always what concerns me is the people not seeing, because that's why I think everything keeps happening. As soon as all the people see, things are going to make a big change. Things are going to be very different. So it's this, it's the awakening. It's getting people to see. It's getting people to understand. It's getting people to make choices for themselves. And there's going to be so many people that are going to have a responsibility to the choices they've already made, choices that they made when they were in the dark. And that is what something, I think, is something with the quantum system, actually. I think there's something that can be able to read about people's intention. And so if people intended to cause harm, intended to hurt others, it's going to be stiffer. That would be a stiffer penalty. That would definitely be death penalty, because this is all about crimes of humanity. This is all about, this is going to be intense. But the people who were just did things out of ignorance because they really didn't know, but not just people who followed orders. Like if you sat there watching someone burning, you just followed orders and nope, sorry, you gotta stay over there and burn. You can't bring your burning over here. Then, yeah, you would be held responsible. That's a death sentence right there. Like, ugh. So there's going to be people who followed orders who are going to end up the same way as what they ordered on other people. So it's gonna be intense. Like all this Gitmo and all that stuff. There's gonna be so much. There's gonna be so much with the crimes and the penalties. It's gonna be, and then, oh my God. Yesterday, Senator shared a video of Dianne Feinstein. Oh my gosh, they look like they got her out of the grave to bring her in and set her down. And she's just sitting there. There's got this wonky eye and this other eye. And she's just sitting there like, it's so weird. It's like, this is who's running our country. Yeah, these people who look like they need their diapers changed, like laying down. They're puppets. This is so ridiculous. And the puppets they haven't had their crumbs, so they're all fucking wilting away. That age is catching up with them real quick. The whole thing with McConaughey too, is that his name? McConnell. Mitch McConnell, yeah. McConnell, not McConaughey. That, they keep having him glitch out. And then they keep having a handler come up and touch him. It's like, is he a robot? Like, what is going on? Is he just, if they got the MK Ultras sewed down, they can just come up and touch you and it's like a toy. You push it and then you say this, push over here, you say this, push over here, you say this. It's like so strange. But it's all, the show to get us to see, like, these people are fucking puppets. And that is like, but as the people talk about it and stuff, they're also serious about it. Like, they are so serious about, like, how we've got to do better, you guys. We can't keep voting in these old people. These old people, I mean, they need to be in nursing homes and stuff. It's kind of funny to watch, even though it's sad because they're all so serious. They really think that this is real. We got to do something. No, this is all the exposing. This is all for us to see. This is also things click in. It's all this big changeover. But we're still under attack because they don't want these changes. So there's still something extreme coming. I just don't know what it is. But there's going to be more extreme things, like, even because there's no way the shit is going to be going down before 2025. And if that one guy is right about that the earthquake is going to go in 2025, then we're going to keep having disasters. Because the earth is changing. So we have multiple things going on. And that's why, to me, it seems like that once Trump's back in, there's going to be more talk about the cataclysm. Because Putin has even come out and said it. I mean, there's been some NASA scientists that have come out and said it. So the cataclysm thing will be talked about. That's where I think that they're going to start trying to get people to evacuate into safer zones, but they might do it like a really soft way, not just cause panic where because people freak the fuck out. Like, they seriously freak the fuck out, and people are so on edge. Man, and I bet you there's so many people that just do themselves in all the time. Half the people who are down there doing the drugs all the time, that's what I'm sure they're hoping. I'm sure that every time they do one that they're hoping they don't wake up. There's a lot of people are just so fucking done with all this shit. They're just worn out, beat down. And I get it, man. This is just the way it just goes on and on and on. And then we get hit with something. And then the whole tension, it's just like so much. And, and then it brings up so much stuff. That's the thing that is the main thing, though. That's the real part. That's the part you got to really work on. The things that keep getting brought up, those are your releasing. You're releasing so that you let go of all of this old stuff to move you in to prepare for the new start. So it is like a lot of stuff releasing and stuff. So keep working on that. But I do think, the disasters aren't going to just stop until there's going to be a point of peace. And I don't know. To me, it seemed like that the California earthquake thing was going to come sooner, and that was going to be a part of the awakening tragedy. But I don't know. You know, maybe it's going to be the war, the money. Like, I don't know. I mean, we got so many things up in the air, and it's all going to fall. So it's all going down. It's not like, well, if the government goes down, then we'll keep the money in the medical and all that. No, it's all going. Everything is crashing. Everything was built on a shady foundation. Everything came from the core of darkness. And so all of that has to go to bring the light, has to keep coming in, because we're going into a time of light where the balance goes towards that direction and going out of the dark. So anyways, you know, that's just the way it is. And so, but each person is the micro macro. Each person has to do their own healing to move themselves out of the dark and into the light. And when people don't understand about spiritual stuff and their soul and what they're doing, and stuff comes up, and then they're just like, you know, going drink, and like they're going against themselves. They're not being productive. They're doing the same old toxic behaviors. And so I just swear, you know, these big things keep happening to get that to stop. But as long as that keeps going, and we see like big things have to keep going. But something big, something really big will happen that will be, you know, the big shocking thing. Which I kept thinking it'd be California falling off in the earthquake. So I don't know. Uh, definitely the EMF thing, but then so many people think they're nuked, and they can even carry that out and tell us we're nuked. And people be going and running down and get this, or they can give us iodine pill, and then you take an iodine pill and you don't have it, that can kill you. So if they tell everybody they need an iodine pill and people take it, that's not good. Because it's not, we're not going to get nuked, because that's like something they're not allowed to do. But they are allowed this frequency weapon thing, that they're allowed to do, these EMFs and stuff. That's like the high technology. That's like what the other beings use. But, you know, the other beings that are not warring beings don't use it on people like what we're having done to us. So we're just at this big time of this, you know, this big changeover, this giant war. But when it changes from that, you know, we're not going to have we're not going to be those kind of people anymore, warring people and weapons and stuff. It's going to go into just a time of peace. But we got to go through. There's going to be a reason why it goes to a time of peace, because it's so horrendous that we just, you know, the desire. We bring in what we desire, and it will go into a time of peace, because it's just going to be so much trauma, so much stuff. So anyways, you know, luckily there's no more explosions. Who knows what? Each day. It's just like this morning I got up, just started doing the exact same thing, go to bed, do the exact same thing. It's like this exact day, relive this exact day over and over and over and over. And then I was just thinking that this morning though. And you know, just get up, do the exact same fucking thing every fucking day. And then an explosion though, that can really, I can just change everything in one day. So anything can happen. But it is aggravating, you know, when it feels like, oh my God, this is just going to drag on for years. Is this just the way it's going to be? And then I got to sit here and worry about, like, I'm not going to be able to get food. I'm not going to be able to get this, because they're going to. I mean, that whole thing with the shoplifting thing, I see that differently now too, because where they've got all these people, like we've all seen the videos, people just going in with shopping carts, just taking shit. I saw one yesterday of these whole fucking team of guys. They had covered totally, had masks, everything. Went into a Home Depot, and right up at the front where it looked like there was tons of drills or something, they all just went in and just started loading up, grabbing as many as they could, like all these guys, and running out of the store with all these drills or something. So I don't know if they're gonna sell them on Marketplace, like we get caught. Like, I don't know. Like, what? But anyways, you keep seeing all these videos of all this stuff happening. People just going in with carts, loading up TV, just loading up the shit and just walking out of stores. And so now stores are starting to lock stuff up. And so, but it was all a setup. So they let all these people steal stuff. So then they could turn around and say, well, we got to lock stuff up. There's no choice. We got to lock stuff up. People are stealing it right and left. I mean, even laundry detergent, which you don't need laundry detergent. You can use goddamn, some people use Castile soap, but I just use white vinegar. It's way cheaper. And laundry detergent's got a lot of toxins and shit. Like all those smells, so everything smells good. That's all fucking toxins. So it's all poison. Like all this, oh, it smells so good. Well, it's poison. And so what was I gonna say? Something with the soap and the water. All the people with the laundry soap. Oh yeah. So they locked up, so they're locking this shit up. Like Target's locking up laundry soap, like all these different things. Like they've locked up formula, all this shit. So on this slowly just locking shit up. So then how are we going to get this stuff? It's going to be, well, you have to have this. You can't get anything. You can't even go in and steal it anymore. There's nothing you can do. You got to go in and fight security. Like, it's the only things that are going to be out there. Like, it's going to be this that opens it. People were like, how will they even do that? You're going to have to hire all these employees to just run around opening things? No, they're not going to hire employees to open things. It's going to be all, you have to go up and wave your hand to open it. So it opens and you get your stuff out, and then it automatically will go in and charge for whatever you're taking. And then your pay that has to be in there, then they're going to tax the fuck out of everything. Like it's absurd. But you can see them. They're setting it up. They're getting ready. They're getting ready. That's what all this shit is. Yeah, now with them all of a sudden locking everything up. And it's going to be all of this. We can't get anything unless we can open it with our magic hand. I'm pretty sure it will be a hand. I mean, they could put it on our fucking face. I mean, there's already people out there paying for shit. Look at this magic. I don't even need anything. I just wave my hand and there it is. It's like, okay, well, what do you hear at night? Got anybody talking to you in there? Last night, too, when Stella got up, and she like whined around, and she got up as we were in the bedroom, and then she came out here and laid down. And so I became aware, and I was laying there, and I was like, I don't want to get up yet. I'm just going to just roll over and go back to sleep. As soon as I did, there was this loud, like something was talking or something. I just got up and was like, fuck that. Hell no. And then what freaks me out is like, you don't know how much of it is them. Like going in, like they've already come out and said they can go in and talk inside of our heads. Oh yeah, and it's remote viewing. That's what I was talking about the other day. Remote viewing, where you can take your consciousness and you can go and move your consciousness around and leave your body, but focus on your consciousness, and you can go. This is something you can start practicing. Like we all have these abilities. But it takes practice. And so you could practice anything. Like to me the other day when I was laying in the bedroom and I thought, what time is it? And they told me to go use my mind and go out and look. And I think I was accurate. I think I was, because then when I did get up a couple minutes later, it was a couple minutes after what I thought it was going to be. So I think it is just us beginning to do a little test on yourself so that you can start seeing for yourself what you can do. Like, just start doing little things. Like, you could even have somebody go in and write a word on a piece of paper and then put it somewhere in a room, and then you sit out in another room, use your consciousness to go in and find the paper. So you in your mind, you see yourself going in there to look for the paper, and then find the paper and see what it says. Test yourself. And, I think that a lot of people have gifts and skills that are naturally come to them, but they don't have the awareness of it yet because they're so mind trapped in this reality of control. So the more that you pull free from that and do your work, like release all of your past traumas and pain, all of your attitude towards yourself, your attitude towards others, releasing all of that stuff, but also working on your conscious abilities of being able to use your consciousness without using your body, without using the hologram part of yourself, because that is like where you need, in our mind, we need this to feel this, but really we don't need this like we think we do. So anyways, that's just stuff to I think work on. And, work on right now, a big thing to work on is, finding your own peace. Like when all this shit is going down, to keep yourself from not getting scared, not panicking and stuff, to just keep working on your own peace of mind. So anyways, I feel like I'm about to have a coughing attack. So I will talk to you later. Bye.